Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Stop me if you've ever heard these or anything close to these. The Heat are in the market for Donovan Mitchell and Bradley Beal. The Heat need absolutely trade for Bill slash Mitchell or else they won't win a tie. Okay, I'll stop. The discourse of trading for either Bill or Mitchell has ignited yet again, and it will likely be an ongoing discussion this offseason as a result of the Heat's lack of half court shot creation in their crushing Eastern Conference Finals series loss to the Boston Celtics. A Donovan Mitchell trade between the Knicks and Jazz is highly unlikely, per at Jake L. Fisher. League sources believe the Heat are one team that could offer a better package around Tyler Hero and multiple first round picks. Now, also, the Bleacher Report predicts the Miami Heat landing Bradley Beal in free agency. The Heat are no strangers to swinging big. Don't be surprised if they connect on this one. If scoring guards like Bradley Beal or Donovan Mitchell become available, expect to at least hear about the Heat getting into the mix. So, both are acclaimed scorers that are making at $30 million heading into next season. So, navigating the money matching aspect of a potential trade could be challenging for Miami if it doesn't want to part with certain assets. Miami will have 5 guaranteed contracts next season, one player option, PJ Tucker, as well as 4 more that aren't guaranteed. Here's how its contract situation looked for 2022 and 23 and beyond. Mitchell and Bill are both very good players. They're both 25 plus point per game scorers, and we both know what they don't become readily available most off seasons. It's fair to argue if either, let alone both, are available now. Mitchell tallied 26 points per game, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals per game on 45% shooting, including 36% from the 3 point range and 85% from the free throw line. In 5 NBA seasons, he's posted 24 points, 4 boards, and 5 assists on 44, 36, and 83% shooting. A 55.5 true shooting percentage with 3 All-Star appearances. Bill is coming off a down season due to injuring his wrist, a season removed from tallying a career high 31 points on 59.3% true shooting. Bill averaged 24 points on 54% true shooting, in addition to his 5 rebounds and career most 7 assists in 40 contests. Should Miami try to acquire either one of them or another highly touted shot creator? Yes. Would they help aid the half court offense? Yes. But how realistic is it, assuming a third team doesn't get involved? My apologies for what I'm about to say. Heat fans, not very realistic in my view. Donovan Mitchell, Danny Ainge, and the Utah Jazz Brain Trust will ultimately have to have a decision to make whether to choose between Mitchell or center Rudy Gobert. Let's say that they choose Gobert. That would mean Utah's indicated they're prioritizing improving their defense and building around Gobert, assuming he doesn't get traded over their 25-year-old star, a suboptimal defender, right? To acquire Mitchell, who's set to make $30.4 million next season, the Heat will likely start trade talks with Duncan Robinson, Miami's only player who's in the $10 to $20 million salary filler range, which is $16.9 million, and Tyler Hero, who's at $5.7 million. Their most desirable asset, not named Bam Adebayo or Jimmy Butler. More on them in a bit. What has been Utah's bugaboo on that end over the last couple of seasons? Porous perimeter defense at the point of attack that augments additional strain on the back line. Opponents have been able to go 5 out and blow by Utah's guards and get to the cup, and when Gobert makes the rotation, a barrage of open threes. He'll get played off the floor with the certain lineups in certain situations, but contrary to popular belief, it's not always his fault. Acquiring Hero and Robinson doesn't offset that problem while both have improved defensively since entering the NBA, Acquiring both upholds that problem, not mitigating it. That's a one sided benefit if that's the choice Utah ultimately makes. Robinson and Hero wouldn't be the only assets involved in that trade. Miami could deal at least one of Max Strus, Gabe Vincent, or Omer Yurtseven, who are all on non guaranteed deals under $2 million, though they're all expected to be picked up for 2022 to 23. It also has 3 first-round picks, 2022, 23, and 28, and 2 first-round pick swaps, 2024 and 2027, to work with too. Now you might be asking, can the Heat deal its 2022 and 23rd first-round pick together because of the Stepien rule? In short, yes, they can. Miami could hypothetically make a selection. They have the number 27 overall selection in the 2022 draft on Utah's behalf before officially completing the trade with the 2023 28 first rounders and or the pick swaps attached. That's if Miami's willing and desperate enough to dispense up to 5 first rounders. One could assume the first rounders in 2023 and 28 are late first round selections, so they might not be as valuable to Ainge and Co. Compared to a first rounder in the top 20 or higher. Miami could also run into a scenario in 2024 and or 2027 when the first round swaps don't convert, leaving Miami with his original pick anyways. You can't predict what happens next year, let alone 4 or 5 years from now, but Utah has to ponder should Miami offer that package in a potential trade. The Heat could also offer Tucker to make the money match, but I have jokingly believed Pat Riley wouldn't even trade Tucker for multiple first round picks, let alone as a salary filler in for Donovan Mitchell trade. Robinson will be making an average of $18 million per year over the next 4 years and was out of the rotation by season's end, in part because of the propensity to foul. He also had the worst shooting year of his 3-year career. Hero won 6th Man of the Year, but the 22-year-old is in line for a big extension this offseason and has had injury concerns over the first few seasons of his career. Will Utah hypothetically commit to that? I'm not sure. It's disingenuous to act like my appropriation of player value is equivalent to far smarter, more involved basketball evaluators in the sport. But I think it's safe to assume the aforementioned pair don't carry as much value as one might perceive. At least not enough to net Donovan Mitchell, whose trade value might also be lower than it was a year or two ago with picks tied to another player or two. The last yet most unrealistic avenue is including one of Adebayo, Butler, or Lowry in the trade. I know a section of the fan base has voiced their displeasure with Adebayo's passiveness with his contract, but I'm sorry to inform a very small chunk of you Miami's not trading him. I could say that with greater than 99% certainty. Same with Butler, who was one of the best players this postseason and willed them to within one game of making an NBA Finals after making one in 2019 or 20. There's just no way, in my opinion. And unless Utah has plans of moving off 34-year-old Mike Conley, who has 2 years left on his deal for at least $37 million guaranteed, $47 million total, they shouldn't acquire 36-year-old Kyle Lowry with 2 years and $57 million guaranteed remaining. Though I don't think Miami would move on from him anyways, both sides have to agree to a deal. People oftentimes forget that when generating these proposals to benefit their own team. You can't fire up the trade machine and trade players you want to trade and expect it to be realistic most of the time. You have to trade good value to acquire even better value. The same aforementioned concerns regarding the trade value concern BEAL too. And Miami would have to include more salary because BEAL makes roughly $6 million more than Mitchell too, in part because of the personal connection between Bam Adebayo and BEAL. The 3-time All-Star has been linked to Miami for several seasons now. That said, BEAL hasn't made any indication he wants to leave Washington. Zero, nada, nothing. He could opt out of his $36.4 million player option this summer and sign a 5-year max extension for about $250 million with the Wizards. In what would be the biggest contract in NBA history, And according to Washington Post Ava Wallace, BEAL, who is in the midst of recovering from wrist surgery, is leaning towards signing the extension. BEAL said he is still leaning towards signing a multi-year deal with Washington worth roughly $250 million in July, and in the meantime, he focused on rehab after having his cast removed in late April following season-ending wrist surgery in February. If Bill were to sign that extension, he couldn't be traded for at least another 6 months anyways. If the 28-year-old wanted out, he would have probably said so already, but he hasn't. Barring a drastic change of heart, one that could potentially net him a ring, the three-time All-Star will be with the Wizards for the foreseeable future. Good for him, too. He deserves the bag. A trade after a record-setting deal would also be unprecedented. Only two players with top 30 contracts have been traded within the midst of their current contracts: Ben Simmons and Kristaps Porzingis. The former's end in Philly was an unmitigated disaster, just to put it lightly, while the latter was traded at the deadline because one, he didn't fit with Luka Doncic, and two, Dallas needed at least one additional ball handler, and Spencer Dinwiddie provided that. Again, unless Bill opts out and refuses to sign the extension, I don't see him ending up in the 305 at the start of the 2022-23 season. Now, they're asking if not them, then who? That's an excellent question. I'm not sure I currently have the most concrete answer. The most obvious answer is Zach LaVine, who's an unrestricted free agent this summer. Here's what ESPN's Brian Warthog said on the Hoop Collective podcast. I don't think Zach LaVine wants to leave. That's not my read. Chicago owns LaVine's bird rights too. Miami could also attempt to acquire Kyrie Irving and James Harden, two players they've been linked to some degree in the past. Both players own player options and will likely try to re-up with their respective ball clubs. Though Irving's situation is a little more shaky, so I don't anticipate Miami with either one of them. Other options include Colin Sexton, who's a restricted free agent, and TJ Warren. He and Butler make amends yet. But the market is relatively thin in that department. Other trade options will become available too. So I pose the same question: who and for what cost? It takes two to tango. Pat Riley likes hunting the big fish. He also hasn't been shy of maneuvering the roster tenfold before. In a recent piece from HHH on Diego Quezada regarding the Spoelstra exit interview quote about keeping the team together, he brought up a franchise-altering 2005 trade Riley made, the biggest in NBA history at the time. Eric Spoelstra spoke to reporters Tuesday, just 2 days after Miami Heat fell to the Boston Celtics in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. And he said he'd like to keep the team together for next season. The Heat coach said that anytime we're close and have banged on the door, even if it ended in a disappointing loss, our history has shown that we usually bring the majority of the group back, the core back, and we take another shot at it. Now that claim struck me as odd. The last time the Heat lost at home in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals in 2005, Pat Riley overhauled the supporting cast around D. Wade and Shaquille O'Neal. He traded for Antoine Walker, Jason Williams, and James Posey. He signed Gary Payton to be the backup point guard. Damon Jones, Eddie Jones, and Kenyon Dooling were all gone. As dismal and distraught as Miami's half-court offense looked in the postseason at times, it wouldn't surprise me if other organizations looked at Riley and the Heat brain trust as potentially desperate in seeking a prominent shot creator like Mitchell or Beal, thus giving other front offices more leverage than Riley in potential trade talks. The most optimal way to acquire both without giving up a whole lot is if either Bill or Mitchell ask out for the deal to become possible. If a third or fourth team doesn't get involved, either asking out might be the only way too. Whatever it is, the Heat urgently need one, and people within the organization likely know that. If Riley goes big fish hunting once again, I'm just serious to see who he reels in, whether it's Bill, Mitchell, or someone else, and with what bait. Sorry for that long read, guys. That was a report done by Matt Hannafin. Shout out to him for that article. That was a great article. But do I believe that Donovan Mitchell would be gone? No. Donovan Mitchell, if Utah is stupid to trade Donovan Mitchell, then they deserve to lose. They deserve to be at the bottom of the barrel. You don't get rid of a Donovan Mitchell. You don't. Rudy Gobert is a specialist. He's like Dwight Howard. He's a taller Dwight Howard. He's tall and long, but offensively, he can't play offense. He has no moves. It was the same knock on Dwight Howard. Like Charles Barkley would talk about it, like if he just had a little offensive game, yes, sir, Lightning are back in it. 2-2. Yes, sir. 2-2. Yes, sir. See, this the Lightning team I love. Now, back to what we talking about, man. I'm just sidetracked and stuff, but this is the deal. Bradley Beal would honestly, I could see. I could see Bradley Beal. I could see Bradley Beal basically. I could see him out of anybody going there. Miami don't really need to get rid of the team. You heard Kendrick Perkins dumb behind come out of nowhere and talk about, they need to trade Jimmy Butler. No, you don't need to trade Jimmy Butler. You just need another shot creator. It's just like with Brooklyn. Like if you get rid of Kyrie Irving, you basically want to lose. I would keep Kyrie. I would keep KD. I would go get a big man and I would go get a point guard. Ben Simmons, look, I would be like, look, man, all we need you to do is run the offense. That's it. And play defense, get the rebounds, help out. Stop with all this fake mental health crap. Okay, allegedly, I'm saying that it's allegedly, because if he ends up really having it, then I will come on here and I will apologize for it. But from what I've seen, all I see is a spoiled, petulant brat who's not getting his way, and that's the only reason why. So that's all I'm saying. Like, we've got to be careful in using this mental health issue to cover up for people just being mentally weak. It's a difference to have mental health issues compared to mentally weak. Now, James Choden is staying in Philly. He's gonna get the max deal. They're gonna sign him for that. So he's staying. They're not getting rid of him. They would get rid of Embiid before they get rid of him because they don't. Embiid is soft. They really don't trust Embiid. Yeah, James chokes a lot, but Embiid just hasn't shown he's that guy. We know Choketon don't want to be the guy. He will give you the ball. He like, here, take the shots. So I've seen that before. So to me, Zach Levine, I don't know. I wouldn't Zach Levine to me, I wouldn't bring him because he jacks up shots. He takes a lot of bad shots that don't go in. They're bad shots for him because he normally doesn't make those type of shots. Now, albeit this year was for a contract, so he might be different next year. But I don't see him or Choketon coming to the Heat. Choketon would not last. He can't make weight. And then Zach Levine, hell no. He is too soft to deal with that Miami locker room. Jimmy Butler would crush him. Okay? Now, Bill or Mitchell, I don't know. Colin Sexton, I like him, but he gets hurt too much. But would he fit Miami? Absolutely. He'll be a great fit for Miami. But he gets hurt too much. Like, he can't stay healthy. That's the only knock on him. The guy can play, he just can't stay healthy. But I do not see Bill or see Mitchell in Miami. If the Jazz are dumb enough to let Mitchell go, then hey, They stupid. If they want to choose Gobert over, no, they're not going to do that. Now, Bill, everyone's saying that he's leaning. If I'm Bill, I take the bag. I take it because look, you keep getting hurt. These players don't understand. You don't have that long to play in the league. You're 28. You've already been injured plenty of times. Take the money, try to go for a championship. That's all you can do. You got to cover yourself. That's the point of getting these big contracts is to have financial security. Don't do stupid stuff like KD and LeBron and leave all that money on the table. I don't care if you're making money off the court. Get your money on the court too. That's why I said Carmelo has more money than all these guys. He does. Melo got more money than LeBron and all of them as far as from playing. Now, off the court stuff, you know, LeBron got more money because he's LeBron, and KD does too because they're KD. But Carmelo is more on the court, and he's made more money than all of them on the court. So let me know, Miami Heat fans and everybody. Do you believe that you guys will get Donovan Mitchell, or you'll get not only Donovan Mitchell, you'll get Bradley Beal? Like, who would you want? To me, Bradley Beal, I would go with Donovan Mitchell over Bradley Beal. I think Donovan Mitchell, he's more durable. Donovan to me offensively is a little tougher. He could get to the next level, in my opinion, better than Bill. Bill is a better perimeter guy. Bill is more of a guy who can hit that mid range and hit the three. But Mitchell can also handle the ball and get you the ball in places you need it. All they need is another guy to take the pressure off of Jimmy Butler. That's it. The only thing with KD and Kyrie, they just need to stay together and play for a season together and nobody get hurt. That's just how it is. And then last year wasn't Kyrie's fault. I mean, he didn't want to take that bull it, which I feel him. That's his religion. So I have no problem with him doing that. But all I'm saying is Kyrie would not fit Miami. So that was stupid of the person who did the article because Kyrie will bump heads. He'll bump heads with Jimmy Butler, dog. Jimmy Butler will call him out and then he'll try to sneak this. And Jimmy's not KD. Jimmy gonna go to your face with it like, man, bump all that sneak this and tell me right now to my face. And he doesn't want that. Kyrie, apple pie Kyrie do not want that issue. And then James choked and oh man, choked and he gonna shut down like a chick. So hell no, he ain't gonna deal with Jimmy. So that's what I'm saying. Like they just need another shot creator. So if Jimmy come out having his period some games, you got somebody there that can step up. I like Mitchell more, but hey, Bradley Bill, if they both fit, they both would fit the system. Donovan Mitchell, Jimmy Butler it would help. Honestly, it would help Jimmy Butler out a lot because he don't need the ball in his hand like that. Jimmy could get the ball in the post or anywhere and he can operate. He don't need to bring the ball up all the time. And Mitchell would really help him with the ball handling. Bradley Beal could do that as well. Bradley Beal has more range than Mitchell. So he can extend the floor better than Mitchell. So, like I said, let me know in the comment section what you guys think about it. You know, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share this, hit that notification bell to select all to receive your upcoming information. Upcoming videos. It'll let you know. And if you love what you hear, go to the description box, hit the link. Hit the link in the description box. That'll take you to the Cash App. And when it takes you to the Cash App, you guys can donate whatever your heart desire. When we have a live or premiere video, hey, make sure you guys super chat. And even after the chat or the live is over with, you guys can super chat by hitting the super things. Wow. They are cheating and lightning. About time. Yep, he's in the penalty box. So yeah, thank you guys, man. We out. Deezy.